We want to, as homemakers, stay-at-home moms, moms in general, and those of us that are trying to prioritize our faith and our fitness and our family, we want to prioritize reps and the repetition of doing things well over perfection. Welcome to Reps and Redemption, a podcast for moms who want to prioritize their health and build strength from the inside out. Hey there, mama. I know you long to find the joy in all the things homemaking and motherhood while showing your kids that you don't have to give up on yourself, your goals, or your desired quiet time with Jesus just to be a good mom. I'm your host, Ashley Harvey, former college athlete, wife, homeschooling, faith-filled homemaker, mom of 4, nutrition and strength training coach. If you're ready to take control of your health, lose fat, build muscle, and faith, you're in the right place. Grab that iced coffee and let's dive in. Hey there, welcome back to the show. It's been a month, a little over a month. I'm recording this quite close to release date due to a new addition to the family and a semi-chaotic yet joyful life. I am about a month and a week post-baby, and I wanted to kind of give you guys an update and just talk about the title of this podcast, which is going to focus on getting things done well and ignoring perfection, and how this pertains to our spiritual life and also our physical health. We want to, as homemakers, stay-at-home moms, moms in general, and those of us that are trying to prioritize our faith and our fitness and our family, we want to prioritize reps and the repetition of doing things well over perfection. And I was thinking of this title when I listened to all the episodes after they air, and the last interview, I believe it was, let's see here, I have a few notes, episode 80 with Robin, we were talking about grace-filled reps and really taking our health to God and really just trying to do things well and practice doing them well so that it becomes a habit and it becomes normal. And that's why I wanted to, as I was listening to the episode, I was like, I have an idea for episode 81. I have a few episodes in line in my back pocket, but I'm getting a little bit tight. And, having a newborn and a family that's getting bigger, I have a lot of, people want my time. And I still really have a passion and a heart for this podcast and the projects that I want to work on and the things I want to create for you specifically. So I thought this would be a great topic for today. So what do I mean by prioritizing the repetition over perfection? What does this mean? Well, I think it means, at least to me, and this is my perspective, I think it means that we reach for the good thing over the maybe not so good thing, or we choose what's best in the moment over maybe what we want to do. And I can speak to this really daily. In the last month since my son was born, I really have struggled with, and you never think you're going to struggle with, finding time, whether it's your first baby, your third or fourth baby, like me, you think it's going to be there, but you kind of forget, especially if your kids are spaced out even by 9 months or a year, you kind of think that the time will just appear. And I think what this means is prioritizing the repetition is deciding what you're going to do when you can do it. And, you can either, for example, scroll on social media, like I could be doing that right now, or I could be recording this podcast that will air in 4 days. So I had to make the decision of which to prioritize, what repetition to practice. And that's what repetitions are. You're practicing and you're strengthening something in a certain area, just like when we lift weights, just like when we do a garage workout, which is what I started this past week, and I'll share that with you at the end. But we want to really focus on doing that rep and doing it well. And so what I have decided the last 2 weeks is, okay, when by chance, by miracle, if I have extra hands, so my husband home or my oldest can help, or both littles are sleeping, what is going to be my main priority during that time? Now, this could be a much needed nap, which is what happened yesterday, and it was a miracle, let me tell you. I don't remember the last time I napped. Right before my son was born, I was like, I need to go to sleep, and I need to go to sleep right now. And then the next day he was born. But I had to get a nap in yesterday. It was just one of those days. It had been a long night. My two oldest were gone. They were both at jujitsu, and my two babies were fast asleep. And oh my goodness, I had a list of things I wanted to do for the podcast. I had several things I wanted to cook up in the kitchen, but my body was like, listen to me. So I took an 1.5 hour nap, and it was a miracle, and I felt like $1 million afterwards. So I had to prioritize that over, that repetition over self-care. And, perfection is very elusive and subjective. We can think something is done perfect, or that maybe we are a perfectionist, but maybe when someone sees what we have done and they don't think it's perfect. So I want to say that in this season that I'm in with a newborn who is now almost actually 5 weeks old, and then, a 21-year-old adult daughter, a 6-year-old, and an almost 2-year-old, my cups are full, running over. My blessings, I can't even count them all. But there is chaos in this little house, and sometimes we just, I need a rest, I need to rejuvenate, and I must practice choosing what's best, or asking the Lord to lead me in the morning. If I can make it a point to get my quiet time in before they all wake up. Now we're still figuring out sleep, so sometimes my 1.5-year-old is downstairs with me, sometimes my baby, sometimes both, and I can sit there and read my Bible for about 10 minutes and pray. It's not the kind of time I'd like to spend. I'd like to spend a little bit more, but the last few mornings I've been able to come down here, and I am just getting about 30 minutes in myself to reset and to gather my thoughts and to ask God to lead me in the day and give me wisdom and show me what each daughter needs and what my son needs. And even now, I want to do a bunch of different things, but I think what's most important is airing an episode every Monday, like I told myself I would, and I've shared with my audience that I would, and that is a priority to me. And then when it comes to our physical health, it's never going to be perfect because we have a newborn, or we have somebody with health issues, or we need to visit a friend in the hospital. It's not going to come naturally to just make the best decision all the time. But what we can practice and the repetitions we can do is, as far as it depends on us, we can food prep. We can prep some protein on the weekends, like chicken breast, ground beef, ground turkey. Make sure we have a ton of veggies in the fridge. Get some quick breakfasts like the high protein yogurt. My kids love those. And we tried going dairy free for a while, and we don't necessarily have to. And in the interview that I did with Robin, episode 80, we talked about that. You're so trained when you open the fridge, you don't have certain things in there to grab that you might have been tempted to grab, or maybe you have them because there's still some left, for example, soda or Reese cups, something like that, and you're just so in the habit of picking something better that it is a natural repetition for you to do that. So then when you have something that's kind of off of your daily intake nutritionally, it's okay. It's not a huge deal, and you're not beating yourself up over it, but instead you're like, wow, I really enjoyed that. Now back to the grind of what I normally do because I miss it. It's fresh, it's rejuvenating. I love eating salads and tuna and fruit and berries, and I love drinking my water and over a ton of caffeine, and it becomes natural. It becomes second nature. And if we think that we can nail this weight loss, fat loss, muscle building, strength building, this fitness journey perfectly, I don't want to say, I hate to tell you this, but I hate to tell you this, we live in a crazy world. And if you have littles or even adult children, it's never going to go as planned. And I think that's one thing that kids teach us the most. Like, it just doesn't go as planned, and we need to be flexible. But how we can help ourselves is if we prioritize the repetition of doing something well over doing something perfect. And it kind of, when I was thinking of this topic and wanting to just discuss it, and then, at the end of this episode, I'll give you guys a little update. But I believe it's Mathew 25, where Jesus is talking about the talents and the parable of the talents given to each servant. And at the end, in Luke and Matthew, actually, it says in Matthew 25:23, it says, his master said to him, well done, you upright, honorable, admirable, and faithful servant. You have been faithful with a little, and I will now put you in charge of much. Enter into and share the joy, the delight, the blessedness which your master enjoys. And what this kind of stood out to me, and I did not know recording was going to be able to happen right now during nap time. I had no idea. I just had the episode title. And as I was thinking about it and praying about this episode, it came to me. I love the verse where Jesus says, well done, good and faithful servant. Notice he didn't say, you did everything perfectly, good and faithful servant. No, he didn't say that. He said, well done. And this is why I believe that we can do things well without having to worry about doing them perfectly. And it's not to give us an excuse to be lazy or to coddle one another or to, jump on the Me Too wagon of any kind. What I believe this means is that, I can clean the kitchen at night and be completely exhausted. But if there's a couple things left over, I couldn't fit it in the dishwasher, or maybe I thought about hand washing it, or, but the counters are clean, everything's picked up. I mean, it's done pretty well. And maybe I've left a few things in the sink, which I really can't stand, but why does it have to be perfect? And I think that's the same thing with my podcast, for example, this show. That, I want to do so many things, and I want to point out so many scriptures, and I want to share a bunch of different workouts, and I want to share what I'm learning in my nutrition course. And I feel like some of the things that I want to talk about don't get aired because I don't think it's perfect. But well done is better than perfect, because do you know what the difference is? Done. That is the difference. I think I talked about how perfection kind of kills our motivation for fitness and faith. And if we think, the same thing, I just said it kind of a few minutes ago, like, because I can't spend 30, 45 minutes reading the word in the morning, and I'm kind of just at 10, 15 minutes of quiet time, like, what's the point? Well, there is a point. God is still there and wanting to meet with me. And it's good that my kids see me open the Bible, the actual Bible, not just my phone. But guess what? If you're using your phone, that's fine. It's well done. And I hope this encourages you to really make a shift from thinking that something has to be perfect. I'm staring at a completely dirty kitchen right now. But you know what? I would rather record this show and make sure it's well done, and then eventually I will get to the kitchen. It's only 1 p.m. So many hours left in the day. And I wanted to update you guys too on a month and a week of new baby. I wanted to share rather. I have a blog. The blog's going to be up and running soon, I hope, and that is my goal. That is my hope and prayer, that I can share a lot of different things on the blog that I might not share here, or that I just elaborate more on the blog. And also, I think I had this idea that I would have all this time. And of course, like I said before, I think we forget how tired we get with a new baby, a newborn who wants to be held a lot and is just adorable and precious. And then we have other kids, and then, there's a few little, with my 1.5-year-old, she sees her little brother and she's so sweet, and she's very in tune with emotions, and she's super empathetic until she wants to stomp your face. And so I have to be very vigilant when the two of them are near each other because, well, not him, because he can't really do much, but she wants to hug him, love him, and then the next moment smack him in the face. And I have to be super focused on that and aware. My 6-year-old was telling her baby sister, my 1.5-year-old, like, it's okay, mommy is giving more attention to the baby, but it's okay, Annie, you're not the baby anymore. And it just broke my heart a little bit. And I've had to really be intentional about focusing on some time and having some time with my 1.5-year-old and my 6-year-old. And believe it or not, your adult kids who still live with you need attention as well. One-on-one time, they need to know that they're important. They need to know they're valued. Words of affirmation and physical touch are my girls' love languages, and I believe physical touch is my son's, but then again, he is a newborn, and he wants to be held. So life is, I would say, chaotically joyful. There are times of stress. It is inevitable, and I think it kind of goes hand in hand with this episode that I love a clean kitchen. I love a tidy home. I want all the kids, to be done with their baths or showers by 7:30. I want dinner to be done by that time too. I don't want to say I'm a perfectionist, but I'm regimented in what I like to see done in the day. And, when it doesn't happen, it kind of makes you feel like you're just a chicken with your head cut off. But I do think that having these things well done and doing them, I have the verse, do everything for the glory of God above my kitchen sink. And it's a reminder that even when I'm cleaning these bottles, even when I'm cleaning these dishes, even when I'm, up at 2 a.m. feeding the baby and trying to get back to sleep, trying to get him back to sleep, me trying to fall asleep again, just doing it well and doing it for the glory of the Lord. And I also have started to work out very lightly, but I'll share with you what I've been doing. I'm actually creating a quick fit in 15 type, workout, home workout for you to download. Once I get that up and running, I will put the link in the show notes. But that is more of just a home body weight workout. And I've been doing it the last probably 5 mornings. And it's a body weight circuit. And I feel great afterwards. I really do. I've stretched before and, I get moving, get warmed up. Sometimes I go for a walk before with all the kids carrying the baby on my chest in a carrier. And then I'll jump in my 15-minute workout, but I feel fantastic. And that has made a world of difference. And then also these last 2 nights, my baby has slept very well. And so that means I have, except my 1.5-year-old was up last night while the baby was sleeping. And, when you know. And just to kind of, like in episode 80, again, I keep referencing that, just give yourself some grace. If you're in a season of having a newborn or maybe transitioning kids, maybe you are a new bonus mom, or you are having, older, like teenage, adult challenges. Just give yourself some grace and some room to breathe. And what's helped me a lot with focusing on repetitions over perfection is really just knowing, like I mentioned before, knowing what you're going to do when you have the time to do it. And for example, last week, I knew that when I had the time, my sourdough starter was ready to go. I knew when I could pass off the baby to either dad or my oldest, or the baby was napping in his crib, I knew I was going to make bagels, like start the bagels. And that was on my list, and I was going to clean the bathrooms. And that was it. And I got it done. Those were 2 things. So I like to make a weekly list and then a daily top priority. And usually with the daily, what I like to do is, non-negotiables. So that's, my 15-minute workout and my 15 minutes of reading my Bible. So it's kind of like you don't even need to write those down, because that you're going to, maybe for you, you haven't been doing that, so you want to write those down, and then that can be your repetition, and you are going to just keep doing it every day. It doesn't matter what time, it doesn't matter when, it doesn't matter, but as long as you get it done well. And then what I've been doing is just listing out 1 thing, maybe 2 for the household of what I would like to get done that day. And then for my podcast, 2 things for the week. So it might be record 3 episodes and work on the about page on my website. And that's it for the whole week. Now, if I really sat there and said, and you asked me, like, what do you want to accomplish? Oh my gosh, the list is so long, from the website to recording to my email list to building a course to getting rid of these clothes in the house to calling these people for admin day. And it's just, what is top priority and what can you do well that day? And I think that's it. I don't want to forget these moments, this time with my new baby. And I also am not the kind of woman or mom that can stay down for long, if that makes sense. Like, we had our first 2 weeks of rest, almost 3, because my husband took 3 weeks off. But I was like chomping at the bit. Like, I was like, I have got to do, I don't care if it's fold a load of laundry. I don't care if it's make some bread. I don't care if it's go outside in the sprinkler with the girls. Like, I have got to do something. And it's just my personality. And of course, like, you feel like you're going to be in those 2 or 3 weeks where you're really supposed to rest and recover and snuggle. You feel like you're going to be there forever, and it just goes by so fast. I can't believe it's already gone. And my baby boy is a month and a week old, and he is so precious. Oh my gosh, I love him so much. He is a blessing for sure. And I don't want to forget these moments and these times. But I still want to accomplish things well. And I don't want to, I can't do anything perfectly. I think when you get to that, when you really understand that and you accept that you just can't do anything perfectly, I believe that's when we feel more free to just be ourselves and get things done and do them well. And we keep going. And we show our kids that it's okay. We're going to do this well. We're going to do this to the best of our ability. And we're going to complete it. And then we're going to move on to the next thing or take a break. I hope this episode has encouraged you. I hope that if you are interested in this little workout that I'm making, that's honestly, I love it. And by the end of it, I'm like sweating bullets, and I'm just like, oh, I feel great. And then I get in the cold plunge. So we can do an episode about that as well. Thank you so much for listening. Make sure you share this episode with a friend. And if there's anything that you want me to cover in regards to motherhood, strength training, fat loss, let's see, what else? Nutrition, home birth, newborn life, just email me at repsandredemption@gmail.com. I would love to hear from you. I love getting show ideas sent to me, so please do so. If you've been listening to the show for a while, thank you so much. I have so much more to come and to share with you and to give you and gift you, and I hope you keep listening, and until next time. If this episode inspired you, will you share with a friend? I would be so grateful if you would leave a podcast review on your listening app of choice. Remember, the content provided in this podcast is for informational and educational purposes only and is not intended to be a substitute for professional medical advice, diagnosis, or treatment. Please seek the advice of your qualified healthcare provider with any questions you may have regarding a medical or health condition. Remember, be bold, mama, and live well. Until next time.